Well, that went about as well as expected. So coming to you now in the aftermath of the 3090 launch. In fairness to NVIDIA, they did come out beforehand and say that there was going to be issues. Something about them, a load of cards having been pre-ordered before they were even made available. Not quite sure what that means. And, just addressing the fact that they've got even less supplies than the 3080. Which, to be honest, isn't really a surprise, I guess, due to the binning and silicon, or quality of silicon, that is needed for the 3090s, as opposed to the 3080s. And obviously, that given the price of the thing as well, and all the memory that's on it, to say the least. So, yes, and obviously, unsurprisingly, I didn't actually manage to get one. I did have a go. I had one at one point in my cart, which I know is a crazy thing. I mean, I didn't even get the 3080 in my cart. But unfortunately, I couldn't go through to checkout, and that was that pretty much. Eventually, even the item in my cart, as it wouldn't load to checkout, I just left it up, eventually turned into a null and void item because it was sold out. So earlier in the morning, I did, and a lot of you who subscribed to notify me, Doodad, also got an email, which is up here on the screen. Basically just saying when they were going to release it, because there were some rumours that they were going to change the time on the release, but they kept it exactly the same as the 3080. And yeah, just like an initial warning that there's not going to be many of them about, and that you should probably expect not to get one, or not just to look for a Founders Edition card. We've seen quite a few videos today, or there have been quite a few videos go up from a lot of the people in the tech community discussing the 3090, just about its application and its relative gaming performance. Obviously, it does quite well at 8K. It's got the, HDMI 2.1, and it's got the 24 gigabyte VRAM buffer in there as well, which is obviously all going to help. But in terms of, normal gaming application, 4K and below, what most of us will, pretty much all of us will run, bar maybe one person watching this video, it's not actually that much of a gain, actually. I guess in many ways, despite the fact it's not a Titan, you can almost, sort of relate it to how the RTX Titan was to the 2080 Ti, as in not really worth the up step in money. And that's the same sort of thing here. We're seeing, I think we saw as low as 5% improvement relative performance in games. I was watching Gamers Nexus's video, and in that one, there's actually a few, especially at 1080p, a few scenarios where they were CPU bound on a 10700K, which is just crazy, really. I think it's good to see that we have that potentially that sort of level of performance, but then if you, I don't know why you wouldn't obviously have. I don't think you'd have that high-end hardware and run on a 1080p monitor unless you were running at 1080p 240 hertz for competitive gaming or something like that, which that's about the use case that would make sense to me. But yeah, so you've got that, which is quite interesting. There's virtually no difference in the performance at 1080p, obviously because we're bound by the CPU, and and then less, and then slightly more as we go up the stack, of course. So we're looking at around 5-10% improvement for 1440p, and then 10ish% improvement for 4K. Not all across the board either. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed with the benchmarks. I managed to watch some of these videos while I was trying to get one. In the end, probably realistically glad that I didn't. It's a lot of money to shell out at this point, especially when it's over double the cost for what is realistically, I suppose, a 10 to 15 being very generous % improvement. So I have now pre-ordered myself a 3080, and I will just have that when it comes. I would have liked to have got the Founders Edition just because it's got the cut down PCB, and the plan would have been to water cool that. So maybe it's something that I will look to do if they release a 3080 Ti down the road. But for now, just gone for one of the adding board partners cards. Is it the KFA2? Basically Galax, but the European arm of their company, the one that they've released. Not for any real particular reason, just the one that I like the look of the most, even though they all look pretty much the same to me. Over the Founders Edition, which has, I think it has quite a nice cooler, but obviously for water cooling, I think that would probably be better because it's more compact, better for the block. I don't know. There's no basis to that, just my own thoughts. So yeah, we'll see. But I don't know when I'll get that. We'll make a video on it at some point. When I do, it's on back order, so don't know. Hopefully before November, but at least it means I don't have to refresh the NVIDIA page every 2 minutes. So yeah, that's where we're at. Congratulations if you did manage to get any of the cards at this point. I think the 3090 was like even worse than I potentially even thought it was going to be in terms of, you know, the availability and how quickly stuff it did sell out. I think, or my feeling is that less of it was taken up by bots this time. But obviously we won't really know until we see some more press coverage on it. And yeah, and then we've got the 3070 launch to look forward to. It'd be interesting to see how that one goes. I think, you know, I predicted before that one will be very similar to the 3080. I think, you know, if NVIDIA are sort of really committed to stamping down on the bots and what have you, then we will hopefully see a smoother launch to that one. I'm just not sure if, I don't know, I guess because it's sort of, for me, it falls slightly under the like enthusiast marker, I suppose, considering, well, just considering the price as we've moved from the 20 to 30 series. But, you know, the sort of like 70 moniker has always sort of been a mid to high end card. There's no difference in this one, obviously. It's the performance for it is brilliant for the price. It'd just be interesting to see how well that sells. I imagine the 60 RTX 3060 when that launches will sell pretty well also. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see that launch. It's not something I am planning on covering though. It's obviously not one that was in my crosshairs to buy, but it is one that I'll be interested to see what we actually get in terms of its performance from independent reviewers. I think, you know, I especially have had, because I've been one of the people trying to sell a 2080 Ti, a lot of comments saying, oh, you know, the 3070 is going to be faster, or it is faster based on, you know, NVIDIA's own benchmarks that it's delivered than your 2080 Ti, so therefore your 2080 Ti is worth less than the 3070, which, you know, may well be a valid point if true, would be a valid point, sorry, if true. My gut feeling is, especially based on what we've seen with the 3080 and 3090, not everything is quite as it seems from NVIDIA's you know, own benchmark that it's released. And I imagine, bold prediction time, but I imagine that the 3070 will fall just short of the 2080 Ti when it comes to overall performance. And I think we'll probably see the biggest differential at 4K. So I think that's probably a given, actually. I think we will see a difference at 4K. We may not see a difference at 1080p or 1440, but yes, I'm looking forward to that, and I think that will may well surprise a few people, I think, and may well silence a few people who were, you know, maybe delivering those comments quite frivolously previously. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. And any thoughts, comments on the launch, or anything to do with the RTX lineup, I guess, do leave it below. And I'd be interested to know what you think about the 3090's performance as well, actually, because while it didn't come as that much of a shock after I saw the 3080 benchmarks, it's still really disappointing. I think, you know, I feel like we were promised more than what was delivered. And, you know, fair play to AMD. If they can bring something out that will knock the 3080 out the park, it would genuinely make them contenders again in the GPU sphere. So, and I've got no problem with that. More the merrier. More competition is better, as we've seen. Anyway, I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.